Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to another interesting episode of the program Hope Alive on Obidient Family TV. Okay, as you already know, Hope Alive is a program where we highlight exceptional people and events that are making a difference in our society. My name is P. Catch, and with me in the studio is Loretta. Hello, Loretta.
Hello.
Yes. All right. So today we're going to be discussing things around politics and around the coming elections in 2023. All right. Our topic for today is going to be discussing the grassroots mobilization of the Obidient movement. And talking about the Obidient movement, we have a guest joining us live on Zoom. And this guest is the Deputy National Coordinator of the Nigerian Youth Sikh P2B Support Group. He is also a co-convener of the P2B 2023 presidential mandate. We have joining us on Zoom Mr. Prince Francis Chilaka. Good morning,
Good
Mr.
morning,
Prince.
Mr.
Thank you. Good
Prince.
morning. Morning. How are you?
We are good. I'm fine. And it's a pleasure having you on the program today.
Thank you very much.
All right. You're going to tell us about the support group that you champion, the Nigerian Youth Sikh Peter Obi. What is this support group all about? Can you just give us a brief about what the group is all about?
Well, the group, even though we call it Nigerian Youth, the group is about working class Nigerians who believe in the change, who believe that it is time for everybody to get involved in our electoral process. And so you have Nigerians of all walks of life who have come together to spend their own resources and to also air their own views and speak out to say, we want a better Nigeria. We want a country we all can be proud of. We want a country that there is rule of law. We want a country where our leaders are held accountable. We want a country where there's transparency. And we want a country where there's inclusiveness. So it's all about, that's all we're about. We're just there to say, look, time for us to have a leadership that is done.
Okay. I understand that this support group is self-sponsored. We know that during election, whenever it's election season, we see people come together and form support groups. And most of the time, they usually have interests. They have their own personal interest, which is maybe when the person that they are supporting eventually wins, and they usually have a stake in the government. They hope to get appointments and stuff like that. So would like to know, what exactly is the interest of the Nigeria Youth Sikh P2B? Do you guys intend to probably be in government, be in power when P2B emerges the winner? Is that your interest? Is there something else that you're after?
You see, the way Nigeria is today, nobody is talking about being in power. You can only have one president. You can only have one governor and all of that. So we are not particular about being given appointments. We are particular about a future for us and for our children and our children yet unborn. So we're not out because we want to ask for any favor. No, but rather we're out because we believe in the person of Mr. Peter Obi. We believe in the person of Dati Yusuf. We believe in a country that we can be proud of. So for us, it's about the country first.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about the Labour Party now. We understand that the Labour Party, it's not as strong per se as the other political parties. I'm talking about the PDP and the APC now. And we know that the Labour Party is the vehicle, of course, which Mr. Peter Obi is riding on to clinch his presidential ambition. Okay, so discussing the Labour Party now, do you think that the Labour Party is strong enough to deliver Peter Obi as the president of Nigeria come 2023?
2023 is beyond political party. And that's the way I want to say it. 2023, it's about good leadership. 2023, it's about people saying, we're fed up with PDP, we're fed up with APC. And if you remember very well, these parties did not just come overnight. They just didn't evolve one day and then took over power. No, they started like Labour Party. People put in their energy, people put in their time and everything. So that is also what we're doing. For me, I'm not particular about Labour Party, whether it has structure all over the place. No, it is the people that make the structure. It is the people that determine who would lead them. And if the people are saying, this is where we want to go, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the political party. For us, it's a movement. And you know what happens with a movement? A movement is about the people and financed by the people, and the people saying, we want a paradigm shift, and they go for it. So it's not about, we're not talking party here, because we've gone past the level of party. We agree that, yes, he's vying for presidency under the Labour Party. But I can assure you that Nigerians, as of today, the consciousness of political relevance is not about party politics, but it's about who will do the right job.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. As a leader of the Nigerian Youth Seek Peter Obi, I understand that you have put in a lot
into this movement. So I would like to know what motivated you into engaging in this kind of movement, like giving your support to the man Peter Obi. What motivated you, sir?
That while all the candidates, well as aspirants at that time, were all running around the two major political parties, and we saw what played out, where so much money exchanged hands, where people were not talking about Nigeria, but people were talking about their selfishness, their greed, their desire for wealth. And then you see somebody who wakes up and says, no, I refuse to be part of this. I refuse to be in this system where I need to use my money or use people's money to be able to lead them. And he said, no, I need to move on. I can't be part of this. And that very moment, I saw in him the kind of leader I really want. Not a leader that will go about, giving money to people so that you'll be in power for 8 years and you give people 5,000, 10,000, and then, for the next 8 years, you enslave them. So that is the passion. That is what moved us to say, yes, this is the kind of leader we want. And we're ready to, support him all the way.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Okay, I would also like to ask you, as a leader in leading Nigerian youths in this movement, are there challenges that you have encountered, and what are the possible way of proffering solution to these challenges?
When you say are there challenges, yes, I'll tell you, because we're living in a very critical time in the history of our country. We're living in a time where the inflation rate has risen to 21%. We're living in a time where unemployment has taken its toll on the Nigerian youths. We're living in a time where our undergraduates have been at home for 7 months. We're living in a time where families can no longer feed well. So so when you're talking to younger people, it's a lot challenging, because a lot of the young people out there have actually left Nigeria. So what we're doing, or what we've been doing so far, is trying to rekindle that faith, to rekindle that love for one's country in their hearts. So it is quite challenging. And, going also by the fact that, people are used to a system where politicians dole out money to them, support groups gather money and give to people to say, come and, support this. So for us, the challenge has been, talking to the youth, which we've been doing, and getting them convinced of the fact that it's not the way it used to be anymore. This time around, we want to own our country. This time around, we want to own the system. This time around, we want to be able to tell whoever is elected, either as a president or as a governor or as a senator or a honorable member, we want to be able to tell you, you're not doing the right thing. This is what we expect from you. We want to be able to tell those who have elected to be accountable, because it is very, very important to hold people responsible and accountable. We want an inclusive government, a government that is open to the people. We don't want a government that is far from the people. So these are the things we're trying to talk to the youths about. And I can assure you that, yes, a lot of youths are really having a mindset that is different from the old mindset. A lot of youths are beginning to realize that, yes, power belongs to them, sovereignty belongs to the people.
Okay,
Thank you so much, sir.
I would
I
like
would
to
like
ask
to ask.
about those in the rural areas, because it looks like they are left out because majority of them are not on social media. So are there steps you are taking in reaching out to them and then sensitizing them, because people believe that they can be easily misled when giving money on the day of election? So are there steps you are taking in sensitizing them on this?
This, of course, people just assume that every support group is social media. We are not a social media support group. We're a support group that is down to earth. We're reaching out to people. You see, when you say people in the rural areas, don't forget that most people in the rural areas have people in the urban areas who are also supporting them. So we're doing what we call more of family reach out. We're using family members to reach out to family members to pass the message. Yes, we know that, yes, people in the rural areas are used to the fact that they're giving them, 2 deca of rice, they're giving 10 tomatoes, but then already they also know that the suffering is no longer one-sided. Everybody in Nigeria is feeling the pinch of bad leadership. So we're there, we're talking to them. It's not been easy, but we're talking to them, and a lot of them are beginning to see that, first of all, PDP has failed Nigeria as a political party. APC, the last 8 years has been, monstrous, cancerous, and all of that. So people are beginning to, use their tongue to count their teeth. So we're reaching out to them. We're reaching out to the younger people in the rural areas. We're reaching out to their parents, their mothers, their fathers. We're reaching out to everybody. And we're also using what we call in our own parliament, we call it, you talk to one person, he talks to another person. It's like when you're doing multi-level marketing of Peter Obi.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Prince Francis Chilaka. I was going to come to the grassroots mobilization for the P2B mandate. Okay, but Loretta already jumped into it. Okay, so but I want to know exactly what is your support group doing to mobilize the grassroots, people in the grassroots for P2B? It's not enough to just say family to family. We want to see actual steps that are being taken to mobilize these people, because we are aware a lot of people haven't heard about the Labour Party. They may have heard about P2B, but they haven't heard about the Labour Party. And when it comes to voting, some people don't even know how to vote. They don't know the symbol or the logo of the Labour Party and where to place their thumbprints. So what has been done, or what is being done to sensitize these people appropriately in the grassroots for P2B? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you clearly. I'll tell you, Labour Party has a wonderful logo. And the logo resonates when you talk about it. You know, it's not like talking about broom or talking about umbrella, but it's talking about what really touches the people. Labour Party logo is family, and that is what the message we have been passing to the people in the grassroots. When it comes to time to vote, look for the logo that has a father, a mother, and a child, mama, papa, and pikin. It's a family. So when we tell you, you must look for family logo, and that is selling to a lot of people. People are beginning to understand that the logo of the Labour Party is a family, and you cannot talk of family without talking about the mother, the father, and the child. So we know that people do not know much about the party, but I can assure you that people are beginning to know more about the logo. And I'll tell you, I see a lot of providence in that logo, because it would have been difficult if it was a different kind of logo. It would be difficult to sell, but this logo, it resonates in the minds of the people. It is what they see every day. It is the reality before them, mother, father, and child. So we are really taking advantage of that, and we are really sensitizing the people. We're talking to the people, and we've even gone a step further. We're calling people. We're getting phone numbers of people, and we're talking to them on phone. I've spoken to quite a number of people this morning. They don't know me, but just talking to them on the phone, they feel happy. They feel that, oh, is it possible that somebody contesting an election would have people call them? They don't know this person. You're just calling them to tell them about Peter Obi. You're calling to tell them about Dati Yusuf. You're calling to tell them about Labour Party and its symbol. And you're calling to tell them that, look, you are with them all the way. So this is the kind of mobilization we are doing. Purely grassroots. Will they reach out to people? Will they tell people as it's supposed to be? Say, oh God, look, this is our party. This is our candidate. We know them for money business. Our business now to make sure, say, this country, that country when everybody's supposed to enjoy, when everybody's supposed to be happy. Nigeria today, not the country where we want. The country we want, the country where we say, people not going to leave Nigeria, they go abroad. Everything you're looking for abroad is in Nigeria. And the only way we can get it right is by voting Peter Obi, is by voting Labour Party, and our logo now, Mama, Papa, and the King.
Okay. Let's consider the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, and we'll look at the south. The south, southeast, and the southwest. Peter Obi seems to have gained so much ground in the south. But what about the north? I would like to know, what is your support group doing about sensitizing people in the northeast, the north central, okay, the core north areas? What is your support group doing to sensitize people there? Because we already know that for anyone to win the elections, you have to get at least 25% in at least 25 states in Nigeria. So we need to know, what is your support group doing? Are you guys looking into the core north, into the northern part of Nigeria to sensitize people?
The mistake anybody would make is to assume that all Peter Obi support groups are in the south. No. Every support group that has come out to work for Peter Obi, to work for a better Nigeria, has coordinators across the entire country. Yes, we have coordinators. We have coordinators that are on the ground. We have coordinators that are holding meetings, that are visiting people, that are talking to people. So each time people just wake up and they're thinking that, oh, Peter Obi is only in the south. It is not. When you go up north today, you will know that there are people who are out there canvassing and selling the Labour Party as well as the candidacy of Peter Obi. And I also know that there are quite a number of persons who are also vying for positions under the Labour Party. And what our group is doing is that we're building a synergy with them to also help in creating that awareness and sensitization. And I can assure you that this 2023 election will be one that people will not believe when the result comes out.
I agree with you, totally agree with you. It's evident in the 1 million man marches that was seen in Kaduna, Nasarawa, even in Bauchi. We believe that Peter Obi is also quite popular in the northern part of Nigeria. All right, let's talk about INEC now and the preparedness for the 2023 general elections. Do you think that the INEC is ready, okay, to deliver credible and transparent elections come 2023?
Well, let me first of all say this. I find it laughable and very, very upsetting that after each election, INEC goes to sleep. And then a few months to the new election, they start running helter skelter. And that has to do especially with the voters card. It should be a continuum. You know, we should have a system where the voters card, people are getting their voters card continuously. But unfortunately, we have a system where nothing really works. But I wouldn't want to say that INEC is not prepared. I want to believe that INEC is well prepared. I want to believe that INEC will be an umpire that we all can trust. So I believe that, yes, they know what they're doing. I believe that they will give us credible election. That's all I can say about INEC.
Okay. Still on INEC, a few months ago, during the permanent voter registrations, we saw a surge. A lot of people turned out to register for the permanent voters card. Just a few weeks ago, new data statistics have come out from INEC that about 1 million registrants was disqualified or cancelled, and that there were about 7 million incomplete registrations. Now, we've had people on the show that have suggested that while we saw the surge back then a few months ago in the registrations of PVC is because of the candidacy
of Mr. Peter Obi. So a lot of people have indicated interest in registering and participating in the elections. Now, INEC has come up to say that about 1 million of those voter registrations has been cancelled, and about 7 million of them were incomplete. What do you think is going to be the effect of these cancellations and disqualifications in the coming elections?
Well, it brings me back to what I said about INEC earlier on, that unfortunately INEC is not being proactive, rather INEC is being reactive. And that has been the bane of leadership in this country, because we don't need to wait for surge to know how the system works. Ordinarily, INEC should have a system where they have people all over the country doing multiple registration at the same time. But unfortunately, you know, we have a system where everybody wants to just be, it is me, it's all about me. You know, we should have a system where people can actually do their registration online and go to the nearest business center and print their voter's card. You know, this is the 21st century. Unfortunately, we don't have that yet. Yes, we know that a lot of people are going to be disenfranchised, but I think that INEC should, you know, come up with something better. If you're canceling names, if you're saying that there are double registration and all of that, you know, there's still time. You know, they should employ more ad hoc workers. Then we should employ more resources. They should deploy more resources and ensure that those who have indicated interest in the politicking of this country, in the voting process, don't deny them their rights. INEC needs to know that if they do that, they are also part of the bad leadership we have in this country.
I agree with you as well. I also saw that during the registrations of the PVCs, we saw a lack of staff, okay, adequate number of staff. We saw a lot of people and there were just very few people to attend to them. And now all of a sudden they say that there's so many
incomplete registrations and what have you, you know, so who is to blame for this? Is it that INEC didn't have a proper voter, what do you call it, education, voter education and, you know, direction to the people? They were not expecting that surge, just like you said. What should be done? What would you advise INEC to do better in the coming elections?
It's not about the coming elections. We're still talking about this election that we're about to go into. If INEC had come out to say, look, we need volunteers, we need people to help us. I know that some churches were ready. Yes, some mosques were ready for INEC to bring their equipment for registration and all of that. But then, where are the equipment? Where, so this whole thing shows the lack of sincerity in the entire governance of this country. The lack of sincerity in the entire governance of this country. It shows that sometimes we just have people who talk too much and they do little. I had expected that INEC would have taken advantage of religious institutions, go to churches, go to schools, deploy as many people as you can. The process we have in getting a voter's card is the same process you go through to get an international passport. It's the same process you go through to get a driver's license. So it's just as if we as a country, we have refused to fall in line with the 21st century. We keep everything about Nigeria is paper. But we've gone beyond that. Like I keep saying, what stopped INEC to open a portal where you do all your registration, everything online, you go and print your voter's card and hold on to it? What stops that? If INEC is saying that they're looking for biometrics, if for you to get the telephone line, your biometrics has been taken. For you to get the national ID, your biometrics has been taken. For you to open a bank account, your biometrics. So why is it that these biometrics cannot be brought under one database? Why? Why do we have the National Statistics Office? Why do we have a national database where that is not national? Because as far as I'm concerned, if you need to get an international passport and you need to go through an entirely new database, you need a telephone line, you need to go to a completely new database, then it simply shows that there is no cohesion amongst the agencies of government in order to deliver services to the Nigerian people.
It's really terrible. We hope to see an improvement in INEC moving forward. But let's move away from INEC now and talk about the Obidient movement. The Obidient movement that has cut across Nigeria and engulfed the country. A lot of people didn't see this coming. So we have seen the 1 million man marches hold in different states, even before the campaign started. I would like to know, now that the campaigns have started, okay, what more should we expect from the Obidient movement?
Well, the Obidient movement, I'm proudly one of them, and I proudly participated in one of the rallies, and I'm going to participate in more. What you're going to see is what I call a different type of campaigning. You will see a hydra, more like a hydra type of campaigning, where the party will be doing its own campaign, the support groups will be doing their own campaigns, and the candidate himself will be doing his own. It's not going to be this whole thing of one spot campaign. No, the support groups are not relenting. They're continuing. They'll continue with their rallies. They'll continue with their reach outs. They'll continue with the shot until the elections. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be quite engaging, because at the end of the day, you will see even where the Obedience and the other political gladiators would be having their own debates, independent of the candidates' debates. Because we need to tell ourselves the truth. We need to get Nigeria out of the doldrums. We need to get Nigeria working, and it is something every one of us needs to work together to ensure that Nigeria works. Nigeria is a great country, but unfortunately, we've had problem with leadership, and we need to get it right this time around.
All right, I would like you to expand more on what I'm about to say. The P2B candidacy seems to have brought hope back to a lot of Nigerians, okay? And we see that
patriotism. Still talking about the obedience movement, we know that these movements are self-sponsored. We've seen in the first time in history of Nigeria where the people organize themselves and march in solidarity of the candidate of their choice without being sponsored by the candidate. And we've seen this in such a large multitude of people taking this movement, So I would like to understand, do you think that this Obi's candidacy now has brought back the sense of patriotism and oneness, and people are once again beginning to believe in a new Nigeria and believing that there could be a visible change this time, a change that will mean so much to the people, to the citizens themselves. So I would like you to just expand more on this, and let's see what you think about this.
You see, in every climb, in every history itself has repeating itself. When we had the Abiola candidacy, we seem to having a repetition of it. The Nigerian people came out. Nobody talked about religion. Nobody talked about ethnicity. Everybody was talking about a better country, a country to be proud of. And that is the thing with Obi's candidacy. It's something that has devoid the understanding of anybody, how it all started. Even Obi himself, the candidate himself. I'm sure by now he doesn't even understand what's going on because the whole thing has gone beyond him. And that is the beautiful thing about movement. Movement goes beyond the individual. It is the people who are saying, we want you to lead us. We're asking you to come and lead us, not the people saying, it is my turn to lead you people. No.
Yeah.
And that is the thing with good leadership. Good leadership is that the people would say, this is who we want as our king. And not you waking up to say, I must be king over you. So this is the beauty of what we have today. And I'll tell you in all honesty, this is actually the second time that Nigerians are coming together. They're forgetting their religion, they're forgetting their ethnicity, and everybody is talking about one thing: a better country, a better Nigeria, a Nigeria that works, a Nigeria that gives us a faith, and a Nigeria that gives us hope for a better tomorrow. So for me, even the babies in the womb are rejoicing. They are rejoicing that yes, we want a better country. Because if Nigeria is better, it is better for them. Most of us, how many more years do we have on earth? So it is not like we are fighting for ourselves, but we are fighting for the future of our children and children yet unborn. And I thought that, you would see something different with this election. You would see, people would wake up from sleep and say, God works wonders and works miracles.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Prince Francis Chilaka.
Thank you.
As we round up now, I'll just ask you one final question. Okay. Now, if you were to talk to all
groups, other Obidient members out there, what would you say to them?
Well, what I'll tell them is that they shouldn't relent. They shouldn't, go and sleep and say, oh, the campaigns are ongoing, so it is now for the party and the candidates. I'll tell them, forge ahead. I'll also tell them that let us focus more on issues. Let us do proper issue-based campaigns, issue-based reach out. Let us forget all these razzmatazz and all these side talks. Let us say things the way we want. What do we want? Not just as Nigerian youth. What do we want as Nigerians? What do we want as Nigerians? What we want today as Nigerians is to be happy. We want to be able to say, you're earning 30,000 naira a month, and that 30,000 naira, from there you can pay your house rent, you can pay your children's school fees, you can still make a savings. That is what Nigerians want. And if we have, Nigeria is so blessed. And if you have followed Peter Obi's comments and speeches, you would see that each time he raises an issue, the government reacts. Each time he raises an issue, the government reacts. It means that there is something the man is saying that a lot of people are not saying. And so I'm asking all Obedients out there, let us embark on issue-based campaigns.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Prince Francis Chilaka, the Deputy.
Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. That was quite interesting listening to Mr. Prince Chilaka talk. Hello, Loretta. Yeah. That was quite an interesting conversation with him.
Yeah.
And I like the last part of what he said, that the Obidient movement, we should desist, from attacks, personal attacks on the character and personality of other candidates, and focus on the issues. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, focus on the issues, and focus on our candidates, focus on selling our candidates better to the public. All right? Yeah. And we believe that together we will win the elections. Come 2023, we see a victory for Mr. Peter Obi, and that is why we have to keep preaching the word, keep preaching the message, pass this message from one person to the other, from one family to the other, and we know that victory is assured for Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati come 2023. All right, this is where we round up the program on today's episode of the program Hope Alive. Do well to join us again next week, Wednesday, for another interesting episode of the program. Till we see you again next week, bye for now.